Welcome, superheroes, alien brains, and impending cease and desist orders from DC Comics to this, a special 188th episode of Unearthly Podcast, streaming live on the 25th of December, 2016. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Oh, sorry.
We're featuring The Return of Doctor Mysterio by Stephen Moffat, starring Peter Capaldi as the Doctor and Matt Lucas as Nardole. Yes, Nardole is a companion now. Deal with it.
Yes, I liked it.
I am Randy Ronson McCulloch, filling in for Bill Man in Black Sylvia, who got tied up with family issues and could not be here tonight. With me is our technical director, Mad Matt Winchell.
And I am hitting the wine. Merry Christmas.
Aaron Romeo Moon Burke.
Sleepy.
And Tim the Enchanter Sheridan.
God bless us, everyone.
Miles could not be here tonight, also because of family issues. It is the holiday season, we understand.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of which, it's Christmas. How'd it go, guys? What'd you get?
Nobody hopping all at once.
Yeah.
Nice shirts.
Was that Tim?
Oh, I got a very nice present from my two nieces. It was a Led Zeppelin DVD CD collection.
Mm.
Wow.
I get the feeling that it was actually from my brother, but
Because your brother knows your choice in music?
And plus my nieces are like 2 and 5, so...
Yeah, methinks they don't know much about the lead of the Zeppelin.
Yep.
Still, nice thought.
That's cool. That's funky. How about you, Matt?
Oh, I got a shirt for a band that I don't know, although my sister assumed that I might, so I'm going to have to look them up. Haven't got anything major otherwise from my parents yet, and my sister should be sending stuff yet. My brother-in-law has given me Batman Arkham Asylum.
Nice. I've played that. I've enjoyed it.
And going to my Steam list, which you'll see a little bit of, so I can read it here. Aaron, you got me. What was it now?
Verdun.
That's right. You got me Verdun, which I have been playing the hell out of. I have one card drop left. So I've been having fun with that. Was this one of them? No, that was something else. I got myself Chivalry. I also got Sentinels of the Multiverse, which is a card game, and this is the digital edition of it, essentially.
There's a digital edition?
Sweet.
On Steam, yes.
Looking that up right now, because I fucking love that card game.
Ozzy Arcane gave that to me, and Ogunix gave me Titan Quest Anniversary Edition. Titan Quest, for those of you who don't know, by the looks of it, seems to be an ancient Egypt version of Diablo.
Cool.
So that should be fun, if I get
my
around to it.
God.
And it has multiplayer.
I wish I knew this was out earlier today, because I could have afforded to buy this with the $5 I had remaining in my Steam account.
Oops.
Unfortunately, I spent it all on odds and ends from my wish list. And yeah, wow, it's $3.
Yeah,
it's
and I gave him
$3, son.
I gave him a
70%
Goat Similar
off.
back. But yeah, it's like $2 something, I assume. So roughly
$2.99, yeah.
$3. Yeah.
Jeez.
Do you want
And
me
I
to buy
wa-
you another Christmas gift, Randy?
Yeah, I've already bought him all of the Baldur Gates, including
'Cause-
Icewind Dale.
I don't
Yeah.
have those wish listed on my Steam account because I have them all wish listed on GOG. I trust them to be more stable there.
I was just more along the lines of I don't want to have to get the GOG launcher and Steam launcher. I just want everything under one umbrella. So
You don't actually need the launcher in order to play them.
Yeah, but even so, I'm kind of been migrating to Steam. That's why I put everything I used to have in my GOG want list on my Steam wish list. So I kind of went. I went the opposite direction.
I do the
from
newer
you.
stuff on Steam, but the older stuff I don't trust because it's been way too unstable on Steam, so I have it on GOG instead.
Yeah, there's usually patches for it though, so doesn't bother me that much because I know I have Fallout 3 on there and I've patched the hell out of it from the Steam version.
The Legacy of King games are much more stable on GOG than they are anywhere else right now.
Anyway, yeah, so Erin got me that. She also got me the gift of sweatpants and underwear, which is still in the mail. My mother gave me a $75 gift card to Best Buy, which I probably am going to use to buy Watch Dogs 2.
I also got you Terraria.
Oh, yes.
PC.
That was a lot earlier in the month.
And Tabletop Simulator.
Yep, which we are going to try to use and abuse on nights that we're not streaming and not podcasting.
When we find out what we want to do with it, yes.
Yeah, we're working on it. I'm learning how to use it, and apparently so is Bob, oddly enough. But we had a very quiet Christmas here. Aaron mostly played Mass Effect. I mostly played AO. And then I got up and I made a ham and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and stuffing. And then we sat and ate till we burst. And then we watched Ash vs. Evil Dead for a couple hours and then Doctor Who. So, hey, that's not a bad Christmas. All right. So let's go ahead. Everyone, did you have anything else you wanted to mention, Aaron?
Not really much. I got myself most of the Baldur's Gate games, including and also Knights of the Old Republic 2, I believe. And something else. Oh, a visual novel. Actually, a couple of visual novels. I got Clannad, blah, blah, blah. Clannad, and then also...
you mean Clannad?
Clannad?
That's the way I've heard it pronounced.
I don't know. I've not heard of it pronounced that way, but yeah, I've also got another one that was fairly cheap, so. So.
Unless I'm thinking of a different one, but I thought it sounded very similar. Anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, having $5 left, I got myself The Mysterious Cities of Gold, the game, and Railroad Tycoon 2, so. Just because they were cheap on sale. That was mostly just taking advantage of the Christmas Steam sale. So, So let's move on to our news. And yeah, we do have a little bit of news. So, Aaron, I believe you're actually leading off here.
All right, so let's see here. I forgot to open all of my tabs.
You've only the birthdays don't really.
Yes, okay. All right,
really,
huh?
Said don't really need to have open stuff for that. Just little basic information.
Yeah. Okay. So we have John Levine, aka Sergeant Benton, on the series, turned 75 on December 24th. So, was he the one that left, or...?
He was the one that left Big Finish, but he was a member of UNIT throughout the entire of the UNIT storyline in Doctor Who. Yeah, but he was the one that had the little fit that he threw at Big Finish, left and came back earlier this year.
Okay. All right. I was kind of curious.
Apparently they're winning him over again.
Yeah, because there wasn't a member of the UNIT crew. He left the series eventually and was replaced by a different person.
No, there was one that got disbarred from UNIT, Mike Yates.
Oh yeah, Mike Yates. He's the one that I was thinking.
He fell under the mind control of the boss, and then while still in kind of an unstable mental state, helped the guy that was trying to bring back the dinosaurs.
Oh.
And then he got kicked out of UNIT after that, and called later to because the place he was going to try to get his brain back in order wound up trying to summon spiders from Metabolus 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with the Third Doctor's run, so. Although, But moving on next, we have December 25th. We celebrated Georgia Moffat's birthday. She turned 32.
And if you don't know, George Moffat played Jenny in the episode The Doctor's Daughter.
She's
Mhm.
just
She
a
is
couple months older than me.
She is the daughter of 5th Doctor Peter Davidson and the wife of 10th Doctor David Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
So, while she only had one role in Doctor Who, well, actually, she did some voiceover for Dreamland too, and I think she's done Little Big Finish, but she has a very big tie-in to Doctor Who and who she's related to and who she's married to, and is a very key figure on why David Tennant is kind of his own grandpa.
We shall make the Quizettes Hatterack. The bloodlines must combine.
So, yep, she was a Christmas baby, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then apparently today, I believe it was today,
This morning.
we in our Lost Stories section, we apparently lost George Michael, who was a rock star who was famous for being in the band Wham,
The duo, actually.
the duo. And he was 53 when he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He died in his sleep, apparently from heart failure, from what I've read earlier.
Mm.
It's kind of ironic because he was actually charting the charts again earlier this year, because one of his singles from his Wham days was on the Deadpool soundtrack and was featured rather prominently. In fact, if you've seen the movie, you know he talks quite a bit about Wham.
Also, I would add that he had a semi-successful return back in the 80s as well, so he's been on again, off again popular.
That wasn't his return. That was when he split from Wham.
That was when he came back on his own, yeah.
Yeah, well, what happened was that he was making singles with Wham, and then he wanted to go one way. His partner in Wham wanted to go the other way, so he split up and started to do this stuff like "I Want Your Sex" and
Faith.
the other stuff. So yeah, Faith was his first major album,
Mm-hmm.
and then he kind of faded from prominence.
I just remember on Full House, DJ Tanner having a George Michael over.
Yeah, I don't know if that was supposed to be Wham era George Michael or post Wham, but yeah, because he kind of sullied up his image post Wham. But yeah, his death was not expected, so all of our eyes were elsewhere at the time, perfectly expecting someone else to die, who I'll talk about later.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, we've got this, and we only are bringing it up because he has no relation to Doctor Who, just that, the lethality of 2016 is not over yet. It's still killing celebrities left and right, so...
It's still got how many days left?
7.
It's still got 7 days left.
Technically 6, but yeah.
Who knows? The next couple days we could have 7 people suddenly croak it before 2017 makes it stop.
Yeah, 2016's Grim Reaper has been on a killing spree, and he just needs to stop. He's done his job. He's earned his place. He can retire with honors now. Knock it off with the Scythe, man.
He's worse than the Grim Reaper from Gauntlet. Anyway.
All right, moving on. We have a little bit of future episode news. Tim?
Episode news. There's a new trailer for Series 10. It aired just before the final credits of tonight's Christmas special.
That's not unusual when they do a Christmas special like this. They'll show bits from the upcoming season.
And it's the interesting thing about this Series 10 teaser was it was narrated by the new character Bill.
Moffat tends to do that because you remember Amy Pond used to do voiceover bits like that at the beginning of Series 5.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, I think it really started back in, I think it was Season 2 with the whole Rose. This is when day I died.
Yeah,
thing.
but that was a single episode narration.
That was a single episode, but it was also used in the trailer, as I recall, as well.
Yeah. So it's not exactly a new idea, but we do see a few things
We
in the
see
trailer
people eating
that
French fries, or chips as they're called across the pond.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if that might be that's either going to be a Cole Hill reference or a school reunion reference.
One of the
I'm kind
two, I
of,
would assume, yeah.
and it's kind of hard to do a school reunion reference with Sarah Jane gone, but it could be the aliens again. That'd be a nice throwback. But we do see a couple of familiar alien faces and a lot of new ones.
Mm-hmm. There's a new blue person.
Yep, well, the Daleks are back. We know that.
Matter of
We
fact, I
know
think they
Nardo
reused
is
some of that footage
around
that they
for a
were
little bit.
saying that might not be part of the episode.
Yep, we do see Nardole quite a bit in this, so
Mm-hmm.
he's in like the first few episodes, which does put him on companion rating, like I mentioned earlier. But other than that, there's nothing too much that we can really glean at this point. We'll really have to wait to see when they start pimping stuff for episode 1, what's going on. And we're not going to see that until probably February or March. So this is probably going to be the last real piece of episode news that we're going to have for a while.
I would also add that the space suits have gotten an upgrade, and they look a little more like hazmat suits from Half-Life.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gotten specifically in that episode rather than the Doctor reusing the orange suit that he's had for freaking ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that thing is hundreds of years old now.
Yeah, that thing's been left around in that TARDIS for so long, I'm surprised it'll be useful.
Yep, I'm wondering if that's where they're updating it. Anyway, so the Mirror posted a speculation on why Capaldi may have been changing his tune from saying, yeah, I'll be around to I may be leaving. And the reason that they've cited is pay. They, of course, being the Mirror, posted it as a definite, but the evidence that they use is intriguing enough that I thought we would mention it. Okay, so according to records, Capaldi is earning £400,000 a year for his role in Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this sounds like it should be impressive and everything, but David Tennant was pocketing $500,000 when he started in 2005. And according to them also, Matt Smith's deal was about $600,000 a year.
Yeah, that sounds like he's getting a raw deal there.
Part of it is due to the BBC cutbacks.
I would assume part of it would be, but it shouldn't be that hard anymore.
Well, it still is. I mean, they were getting a lot of financial support from the government. Now they're not. At the same time, Doctor Who is their big number one showrunner.
You see a lot more products marketed for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is their flagship series. It is the one that they're marketing to the entire world. 189 territories across the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter Capaldi is the main person in this.
Yeah.
So you would think that they would be looking to at least match Tennant, if not Smith's pay.
Mm-hmm. By this point, for sure.
I'm hoping that that's the only reason he's been even talking about it, and that it just is part of a negotiation deal. Otherwise, because I would hate to see, because being the Doctor's a dream job.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I mean, if I could do it and survive, I would almost pay them for the role, But
you also need to be making a living wage on this too, and he's by no means making as good of a wage as the last two guys by a long shot.
The question is, does he need it? I mean, he's been pretty big. I mean, I don't know what he got for the thick of it, but it had to be pretty damn big.
I wonder if it has to do with his age, not the idea that he's being, what do you call it, not bigoted or whatever, but like they're not paying him less because he's older. They're paying him less because he's older. How much more is he going to be able to produce for the franchise? Whereas Matt Smith and David Tennant are still fairly young and can go on to do lots and lots of more stuff if they need to.
Well, that's the thing, though. Generally speaking, once the Doctor's done with his role, he's done. Anything else that the Doctor does, like when Tennant came back for the 50th anniversary special, it's a per thing contract. They're getting guest star rates at that point. So the BBC really doesn't see much in the profits.
Yeah.
It's the conventions and places like Big Finish that make all the money off them after they're done being the Doctor. So I don't think that would affect the pay rate.
And it's not because Capaldi can't do stunts or anything like that.
Oh, no, he's been doing his own stunts.
He's pretty active. In fact, I would say he was almost more active than Tennant or Smith.
I wouldn't say more active than Tennant. I mean, Tennant pretty much ruined his back doing stunts for Doctor Who.
Yeah, more active than Smith maybe, because Smith did a lot of blues and green screen stuff, more so than he did actual stunts, as far as I'm aware.
I mean, Tennant came out of back surgery, and what did they do? Strapped him into a straight board and bounced him down the stairs. So...
Yeah.
And that was all done practical effects, yeah.
There was very few digital effects, only when it was something that would actually legit be too dangerous to do.
So really, I mean, it's part and parcel for the Doctor, but the fact that Capaldi's doing this at his age is, amazing and wonderful, and something that they should be paying him more for, not less. But again, this is all speculation. The Mirror has no hard facts on it.
Yeah, it's just rumors and hearsay.
It's speculation, and that's all we can do is speculate at this point. So we're gonna move on.
Yeah, let's hope it's not gonna hold.
We have a little contest to talk about.
It is time for the famous or annual tradition of Predict the Ratings competition. In this particular case, the Return of Doctor Mysterio. So let me see here. The ratings and positions for 2014-2015 are presented here for comparison. Recent years have seen a decline in television viewing over Christmas Day, with none of the programs achieving the heady heights of several years ago. And on the Doctor Who News website, they have a couple of images here that you can click on for comparison. As always, the aim is to predict the final consolidated viewing figure for the Return of Doctor Who The Return of Doctor Mysterio is reported by BARB.
Yeah.
What does that sound?
Somebody's wrestling with their headset.
Yeah.
That's Tim.
Huh. Ooh, okay.
Anyway,
right.
Keep going.
To the nearest 10,000 viewers, that's 2 decimal places. They also want you to predict Doctor Who's position in the weekly chart, which will be used in the case of a tie break. So you have to provide 2 numbers for these here. To enter the competition, you have to send in the following details to comp-ratings@drwhonews.net. Your name and preferred email address, your country of entry. Full details will be requested only if you are the winner. Your guess at the final viewing figure to the nearest 10,000, for example, 9.99 M or 9.99 million. Your guess at the final position in the chart, example, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever. This will only be used in the event of a tiebreak. Again, the chart position will be. Terms and conditions: the competition closes at 8:30 GMT, 26th of December, 2016. I don't know.
That's in a couple of hours. That'll be about 2 a.m. our time.
Okay, 2 a.m.
3 a.m. 3 a.m. Eastern. Yep.
All right.
3:30. Yeah.
Okay. Only 1 entry will be accepted per person. The competition is open worldwide, mind you, worldwide. BARB, or the anagram,
the BARB.
An acronym, BARB, the BARB, final figures are expected in early 2016. They will contact the winner once they have been published. So sounds kind of like a challenging one here, but again, they do provide figures for the past couple of years for you to go off of.
Mm.
And so
All right.
it sounds like it could be pretty cool.
All right. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, and also, well, we should probably go over the prizes. The prize will be the Return of Doctor Mysterio on DVD, Blu-ray upon its release, plus a copy of the BBC book The Who-Inverse.
The Hooniverse.
Hooniverse, by Justin Richards and George Mann.
Okay.
Okay.
So moving on, we do have an audio release, Tim, if you want to talk about that.
Yes, there will be 2 releases in the Who Talk range of alternative audio commentaries from Phantom Publishing. The first one will be An Unearthly Child.
All right.
The very first Doctor episode, and features commentary from William Russell, who played Ian Chesterton, Jeremy Young, who played Cal, Waris Hussein, the director, Brian Hodgson, a special sound, and Clive Doig, a vision mixer, and the moderator is Toby Hadoke.
All right.
Also coming out is a release called Cyber 60s, which features the Patrick Troughton stories, The Tomb of the Cybermen, The Wheel in Space, and The Invasion.
All right.
It's
That's gonna be like a massive list of people to mention, but let's just say that a lot of companions, directors, and so forth will be helping with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And
All
moderated by Toby again.
Yep.
Actually, Paul and Toby do that one, so.
Toby. And the CDs are very limited and are exclusively available via the Who Talk website.
All right.
WhoTalk.com. Or UK,
And-
maybe.
Finally, we have a few things coming out from Big Finish. Number one is that just got released is Doctor Who: The Hesitation Deviation, which is a short trip, 7th Doctor. The Doctor and Vernice celebrate Christmas.
Of course.
The Doctor brings Vernice Summerfield to a planet where they get Christmas just right. But this year, something's gone very wrong. An ancient force has been hunting the Doctor for a long time and has finally found him. As it closes in on the Time Lord, Bernice must make a truly terrible decision, one that she'll immediately forget. Ooh, that actually might be important. That is available now. Download for $2.99.
The Black Guardian?
I don't know. I'm not.
Celestial Toymaker? There's so many options to go with.
Yes, there is. There's way too many options for us to speculate. Anyway, you can buy it and download for $2.99 or as part of a money-saving bundle with short trips for £30. That is £2.99, probably $2.99 because that's what they usually do. Next, we actually see an early release or at least digitally, of The Diary of River Song 2 as part of the 12 Days of Big Finishmas #1. Day 1, we should say. We've mentioned these before. Time-traveling archaeologist River Song returns. This time she'll be stepping into the past life of the Doctor and counting 2 of his incarnations at once. From the space exploration vessel Saturnus to a doomed planet Earth and beyond, River's journey will bring her closer to a new foe and encounter with the 6th and 7th Doctors. So Alex Kingston, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. This is out digitally right now for £20. The CD option is available, but will not get you immediate access. Well, you'll get immediate download access, but the CD won't come out until the 2nd week of January. So if you love it, you want it, you got to get it now. And finally, there is a free download for the next few days from Big Finish.
Ooh.
And that is the Sylvester McCoy in Flip Flop. It is probably a short episode. Christmas Eve in the year 3060, and the planet Puxatomi is home to a prosperous human colony. Spacecrafts have arrived orbit carrying the Slithergees, a race of obsequious alien slugs. Their home has been destroyed, and they are humbly requesting permission to settle on the first moon. And if they don't get permission, then they are humbly threatening to declare all-out war. The future hangs in the balance. The decision rests with Bailey, the colony's president, but she has other things on her mind. It's a Dr. and Mel. You can get it for free by going to the episode and putting in the order code flip-flop. So that's our news. That's the big finish bit. We do have one other piece of news. And if you must have been under a rock if you haven't heard it. After doing some filming in the UK and heading back home for family Christmas, on the plane over, Carrie Fisher of Star Wars fame suffered a massive heart attack. There was medical CPR done on the plane, and when they landed in LAX, she is in the intensive care unit at Los Angeles Hospital. She is currently in stable condition. Which is good. That means that she is not expected to keel over dead any minute. So,
Reaper, stop it.
We don't know the extent of any damage. She was without respiration for a very long time. And that could cause brain damage. So we don't know the extent of what can happen. But
and how extreme it was either. So we'll have to wait and see.
But at least we don't have to report her death on Christmas.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
She's dodged the Reaper. She's dodged the 2016 Reaper thus far.
Seasons don't fear the Reaper.
Okay. So there's not much we can say more about Carrie Fisher except that our hopes are with her, that she makes a recovery and can return to doing the thing she does that makes everybody squeak with joy, and that is act. Whether it's in Star Wars or the television series she has in England, what have you, I'm sure everybody wants her back.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to kill a little time here. We're going to play a quick game of trivia.
Oh boy.
I'm going to ask each of you 3 questions. I'm going to go right down the line here. So what I'm going to do is I did get for Christmas something I haven't mentioned yet. I got the Doctor Who Trivial Pursuit game.
Oh.
From Aaron's parents. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually relatively shocked by that, but I thank them very much. So what I'm going to do is this comes with a little dice to roll the category. And I'm going to ask each of you, like I said, I'm going to go ask Tim, Aaron, Matt, Tim, Aaron, Matt, Tim, Aaron, Matt, and we'll see who wins. Okay? So starting with Tim, rolling it, and your category is years and dates.
No.
God.
Oh boy, cross your fingers.
In what year did Davros make his first appearance?
Ooh.
Are you talking in universe or non-universe?
What actual in real universe year did Davros make his first appearance?
In real life, when did he first appear?
1975?
1 point for Tim.
Yay!
I was almost guessing 76. I wasn't sure.
75. It was Tom Baker's first year as the Doctor.
Okay.
All right. So, Aaron, you get episodes and stories. In which 1980s story is a Dalek first seen levitating up a flight of stairs?
Oh.
I don't know.
All right. No point for Aaron. You want to say it, Matt? You're not going to get a point for it because it's not your question.
Wasn't Remembrance of the Daleks? Yes.
Yes, it was. Finally, Matt, your question? Also from episodes and titles.
Ooh.
In the Ninth Doctor story Dalek, what is the name that the collector Henry Van Statten gives to this captive Dalek? Metaltron, Metalbot, War Machine, Domatron 3000. And no, you can't phone a friend.
What were those again?
Your choices are Metaltron, Metalbot, War Machine, Domatron 3000.
Metaltron?
That is correct. Point to Matt.
Yes.
So Tim has a point. Matt has a point. Moving on. One more. Well, two more, but next round. So Tim. Wow, Dice is really liking that. Nope, that's orange. I'm sorry. That's Cast Crew and Beyond.
Ooh.
Okay.
Who played the warrior queen Katrika in The Mysterious Planet?
Ooh.
Bella Emberg, Joan Sims, Linda Berra, Kathy Staff.
Kathy Staff.
Nope, I'm sorry, it was Joan Sims. I actually did not know that. That's the first question I've actually hit that I did not know. All right, Aaron, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Time Lords.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is an easy one, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Which doctor's outfit featured a long scarf?
Jeez, the fourth Doctor.
Yes, indeed.
Ding,
3 point
ding,
for
ding.
Aaron.
Jesus.
Wow, that was super easy.
Whoever
Even
wrote
with
that one needs to be strangled by the same
tired.
scarf.
Okay. Matt hasn't had a years and dates question. All right.
Oh, God.
In what year was the story broadcast where the fourth Doctor encountered the disembodied head of a Time Lord named Morbius in a huge jar?
Oh. I'm going to have to take a rough stab at this one. So that was obviously the brain of Morbius.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was during his early years, so I want to say 85? Not 85, 75?
Nope.
Oh,
If you had gone
76,
with your
wasn't it?
instinct for your last one, you would have been right. 76.
Son of a...
So everybody's at 1.
Yay!
Final round.
Final round. All right.
That's such an easy point.
Okay. The category is monsters.
Ooh.
On what planet does the Doctor first encounter the Mara, the snake-like demon that possesses Tegan?
Oh. I honestly can't think of it.
That's Tim's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Planet Idaho.
No. I'm sorry. Anyone else have a guess?
I honestly can't remember, and I've seen that story at least twice.
It's Deva Loka, Planet of the Kinda.
I can remember the Kinda, but I can never remember the planet.
All right.
I could literally just look this up.
You could, but that'd be cheating.
All right. Not a hard one for Erin. We'll see how she does.
We'll see.
Name the 2 actresses who played the Time Lady Romana alongside the Fourth Doctor. This is in the category Companions.
Oh gosh, the first one, Romana one, was Mary Tam,
Okay.
and the second Romana was Lala Ward.
Correct. Remembering Mary Tam would be the hard one, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the only one. I knew her last name was Tam, Tamm. So.
All right, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, Matt has had one of those questions. Possibly difficult, possibly not. It is multiple choice, Matt.
That helps.
What is the name of Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart's wife in the 1989 story Battlefield? Doris, Doreen, Donna, or Dolores?
Oh. I'm gonna go with Doris?
Doris is correct.
Woo!
So we have Tim with 1 point, Aaron with 2 points, Matt with 2 points. I'm going to ask one final question. The first one to blurt out the correct answer wins.
Ooh.
The category is cast, crew, and beyond.
Oh, God.
Geez.
In the seat, and this is worthy of a final Jeopardy question.
Jesus.
In the Seeds of Doom, this character Scorby is played by an actor who was also on Only Fools and Horses, but who did he play?
Oh my
Boise,
God.
Trigger, Rodney, Del Boy.
I'm going to say Rodney.
No.
What were the other options?
Boise, Trigger, or Del Boy.
Boise?
And Matt wins
Oh!
by sheer lucky guess.
Sheer lucky guess.
I'm just sitting here going, which one sounds like it might have been familiar? That one kind of hits a bell somehow. Let's go with that.
All right, so that takes us out of our trivia. Matt, you may pat yourself on the back. Your no prizes in the mail.
Yay, my no prize. I'll get it in no time.
And that takes us up to the 5-minute challenge.
Stopwatch is ready. I believe I went last time, so...
Yes, you did, and it's probably going to be me because you took my place. Because if you remember, I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm better now, so I will do the summary.
Okie doke. Ready when you are.
Okay, actually, let me take a quick sip.
Liquid courage.
No, just not keeping my throat from drying out. Okay, Matt.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so in the not-too-distant past, a boy up late Christmas night gets a knock on his window and opens it to find the doctor hanging upside down in front of his window. Lets the doctor in before he falls to his death, very nearly not succeeding. And a little later, escorts the doctor back up to the roof, where the doctor is working on a device to stabilize the time distortions that have been plaguing New York City. Please see Angels Take Manhattan. However, he hands the kid a gem and a glass of water because the kid is sick and coughing. And the kid, thinking it's medicine, swallows it. Unfortunately, it's not medicine, but was supposed to be the main computer gem that powers this device. And instead of regulating time, it winds up giving the kid superpowers. Fast forward to 23 years in the future, where a major company by the name of, Harmony something or other, is unveiling some stuff.
Harmony Shoal.
Harmony Shoal. Interrupting their conversation is Nardole, who's looking for the bathroom. Cut to their head talking to one of their chief scientists about a research project involving blue brains in a jar, or in jars. While they're talking, he taps one of the glasses and the brain spouts eyes. And basically, he's apparently next for becoming a new repository for the brain. It's already happened to the scientist. Outside this, a young lady who was disguised as a janitor turns out to be a reporter, and the doctor watches on. Before they can leave, however, they are stopped by the bad guys, and when all seems to be lost, they are rescued by a superhero whom the doctor recognizes as being the boy he told 23 years ago not to use these new powers. The man, Grant, or the Ghost as he's known as superhero, turns out to be the nanny for the young reporter, a woman he's had a crush on for a long time. The doctor confronts him about this, and they're interrupted by the nanny, who fails to recognize that Grant and Ghost are the same person. And they begin to try to plan what to do about the aliens. But the young lady's mostly interested in the Ghost and believes the doctor knows who he is. She's right, but the doctor tries not to tell. But the ghost calls and arranges basically a meeting date. While this is going on, the doctor goes back and investigates first the location and then the ship in space that these aliens have come from. Because yes, they are aliens planning on taking over the minds of everyone on the planet. He's trapped on the ship, and which turns out to be a giant bomb ready to go down and basically blow up New York. Only their building would be secure, and that would cause the politicians to flee to their other buildings in capitals all across the world in fear. Meanwhile, the date seems to be going somewhat well. At one point, he's ready to reveal his identity to her, but is stopped by her own sense of repentance for not dating him and instead going after the superhero. The doctor, cornered in the ship, causes the ship to spiral down and try to crash into New York. But before they were ready for it, fortunately, he managed to send out a message that only Grant could hear, and rushing forward and revealing himself to everybody, he stops the ship from crashing onto the planet, downfounding the aliens who were planning on taking Grant's body and turning him into one of them. But, of course, their plan is foiled. Grant saved the day, the doctor saves the day, and the lady now reveals that realizes that Grant and Ghost are the same person. Grant decides to go into semi-retirement, and the doctor, of course, after a little bit moves on, but not before they notice that he's still very sad about the death of River Song. End of episode.
All right, a little late to stop on that, but your time was roughly 4 minutes, I would say 14 seconds.
Well, there was a lot of plot in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I almost tried to do it as the announcer guy from the Super Friends cartoon.
Meanwhile,
at the apartment building, Grant is taking care of the young child.
this entire short summary would take 2 less minutes if I wasn't trying to be a ham.
Yeah, that would be why I didn't do it. Because it would have been more like 10 minutes. Okay, so what we liked about the episode, and Tim, you are first.
Yeah, I love being first.
Was
Taking
that
everyone-
sarcasm or our honesty there?
It's honesty.
Well, the dice gods liked you tonight then.
Yep. I really liked the character of Grant and the Ghost, how the actor Justin Tatwin differentiated them, which is very similar to what Christopher Reeve did.
I thought he was a little more Tobey Maguire-ish myself, but that was my...
Actually,
That was-
he felt a little more Michael Keaton to me, actually.
See, I
And
saw the Tobey
oddly
Maguire
enough-
in him too.
The 3 movies that the 3 of us just mentioned are the 3 movies Stephen Moffat was deliberately trying to invoke.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Well,
So-
then he pulled that off.
Yes. So, Aaron, what did you like?
I liked how the doctor felt like he was even more of an outsider than usual in this. He was both inside in that he kind of aided in creating this child into becoming a superhero. And at the same time, he was also, when he came back and the child had grown into a man and was living this double life, he felt very much like he was the third wheel, possibly even a fourth wheel if you include the alternate personality or the alternate, the super ego, I should say.
Fifth wheel, the baby was involved
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fifth wheel. So, and it came close to feeling like the cast was a little bit overcrowded. But I didn't really feel like the doctor was superfluous. I felt that he did have a role in this. It was just somewhat diminished. And like I said, it was definitely the doctor looking from the outside, looking into humanity.
Okay. So, Matt, how about you?
So what did I actually go with? Actually, kind of building off of Aaron a little bit, I liked the different chemistries in here. There are some familiar stuff with like Grant and uh, the love interest, kind of like a Superman-esque thing there. Also with the baby there, it's kind of still struck a little bit like Superman Returns, but not quite.
I got that feeling a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I think it never hit me until he's holding up the ship, in much the same way that Ralph held up the plane in Superman Returns.
Mm-hmm. Also, what's his name again? That Matt plays in this? I can't think of the character's name right now.
Nardole?
Nardole. Nardole was a very interesting sidekick pick for Doctor, and I like the fact that they at least gave a line or two to why is he back, because the Doctor apparently fixed him up during the 20 years of River Song.
Mm-hmm.
Up until that line, that was going to be my bad aspect of this episode, was the fact that Moffat just glossed over that. But then there's that one scene that had the dialogue that had the reasoning why. And it's just like, that's
and they give
really
it a moment,
all
and it's
we
just
need
like,
to know.
there, and that's all we need.
Yeah. And I've mentioned this before in previous stuff. Moffat had a very bad track record of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He's made these rapid changes and never bothered to explain. And I've just said, if you could only have added a line of dialogue or two, I would have been fine. Well, guess what? He added a log of dialogue or two, and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. And also, between the Doctor and Grant, aka the Ghost, it was kind of an interesting little chemistry there, because he kind of already knows what Grant's up to, but also at the same time, when it comes to dealing with the aliens, it's kind of like a mixture of a small hero team of a mastermind and the big tank, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked off each other pretty well in the end for that, too.
Okay. So what I liked was the sets.
Mm.
The sets were very comic booky, yet at the same time being real world. It reminded me very much of the 80s Batman movie, or the 89 Batman movie, or more so the early 90s Flash series. That reminded me very much of their Central City sets, where you almost get a level of surreal because it feels comic booky and real at the same time. And I got that feeling going into the very beginning of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
It just... Everything was just a little too neon to be real, yet was close enough that your brain was still going, okay. You know?
Speaking of which, that knockoff Daily Planet.
Yes. That was the other thing, and since there's only three of us, was I have a very good sense of parody. And Moffat goes whole hog in this. Because, yes, not only is the main building a knockoff of the Daily Planet building, but the first two people that are mentioned in the villain's speech as Mr. Simon and Mr. Schuster, and I'm like, or no, Mr. Schuster and Mr. Siegel, wasn't it?
Schuster and Siegel, yeah, which are the creators of Superman.
Yes, he's really making the Superman parodies go whole hog. Which is fine if you're establishing that you are making a parody of Superman, which he basically was stating he was. So I found that to be beautiful. And okay, so now we have to go to the other end of the coin. What didn't we like about the episode?
Tim.
This is a really, really just a nitpick, but I don't like how this Christmas episode had very little to do with Christmas, apart from a reference at the very, very beginning where after the young Grant saves the Doctor, he has milk and cookies.
I'm actually fine with that. Because not all the Christmas specials have been fully about Christmas. I mean, look at End of Time. Christmas comes up a couple of times in Backdrop. But I do agree with you at one point. You get the feeling that this wasn't taking place on Christmas for the modern parts of the episode, whereas the flashback to when he was a kid did. I think it would have been great if Christmas was going on in both places. And yeah, that it is a very minor nitpick on mine. I don't even know if I'm going to be deducting points for it. Aaron, how about you?
Overall, I guess overall it was still kind of a rehash of several stories that we've seen before. You know, your typical invasion plot. And in particular, it was very similar to the World War III plot. However, it was done better, I feel, than World War III.
Yeah, if you're going to borrow something, make sure that the second time around is better than the first.
Yeah, other than that, I didn't really have any major complaints for this.
No. Yeah, I actually pointed that out to her too in the thing that if you're going to do a rehash of a plot line, make sure it's improved over the original. Unlike, Victory of the Daleks, where you're rehashing Power only worse,
True.
Okay, Matt, how about you? Was there anything you didn't like about this episode?
Anything in particular overall that I didn't like?
Mm-hmm. Minor nitpick, anything?
I think the only nitpick I can think of would be that the villains themselves felt a little bit pointless.
They weren't very memorable.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be one of my nitpicks, was the villains were completely and totally forgettable.
It feels like until the last act that they don't really do much of anything. All of a sudden they have a bomb, and all of a sudden they're trying to get the ghost's body, and then they're actually doing something.
I wish they could have tried to ham it just a little bit more.
Just a little bit, yes.
Just to make it a little more
little
comic
more
book.
Lex Luthor would have been
a little
great.
more Lex Luthor, a little less blah.
A little more Lex Luthor, a little less. Yes, we obey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I have two nitpicks, one of which is a very technical nitpick, and that was the fact that some of the flight animation or special effects were a little dodgy.
Just a little.
Just a little. And that's a minor nitpick. And the other one is a writing nitpick that is, again, very minor, and that is I really wish they would have just we come into the scene with the ghost having already been established as being the hero. Instead of him being just this, myth that's suddenly proven real. It'd be like, we're joining Lois and Clark already in progress,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like trying to introduce the ghost and doing the reveal and everything all at once was a little much. But that's it. All right. So back to something we like. Favorite scene.
Oh, my
Kim.
favorite scene is when the doctor says, "I'm in a room full of buttons. I love pressing buttons. Merry Christmas to me."
It was almost a 10th Doctor moment. I swear Capaldi's getting his Tenet on a bit.
Just a bit.
Because it's like the second thing he said that reminded me of of something Tenet would do. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that because I love Tenet. So
it reminded me of the scene in Family of Blood when he says, "Oh, you shouldn't have let me press all those buttons."
That's exactly where it reminded me of.
Push that lever! Push that lever!
I think the other one is where he. Actually, I'll wait. Aaron, your favorite scene?
Oh gosh, my favorite scene. I actually had a few of them. And of course, now I'm drawing a blank on all of them. Let me just look up my notes here quick. Oh, god damn it. All right. I think the scene where she's interrogating him with the Mr. Huffle toy. And that toy makes such a disconcerting sound.
Yeah.
It's obviously it disconcerted the doctor.
He's just sitting there looking at her, hoping that she won't pound on it. I'm like, no, don't pound on it. It sounds like it's actually in pain. Like,
You
all
notice
she had to do.
he gets the toy at the end.
It's just
It's
like,
sitting
no.
in the TARDIS.
No more.
Okay, Matt, your favorite scene.
The moment the Grant, aka the Ghost, grabs the alien spaceship, you just see him posed with that thing, and it must have been on set because that looked a little too real, at least for the nose cap. And you just start hearing the Superman theme start to hum in the back of your brain.
Yes. I actually like that scene too, though slightly later. It's like when she's looking at him and he kind of almost shrugs depreciatingly. Because, it's like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. But no, my favorite scene, and this was a long scene, because I liked like many things during the course of the scene, are when the aliens are talking about the Doctor, watching him on film, and he turns around and just goes, boo!
Boo! I'm right here!
I'm recording live! And then he goes into one of those, I'm the Doctor, I've saved this planet so many times rants.
I'm just drawing the line in the sand. Don't cross it. I'm warning you.
Yes. Yes, it was absolutely picture perfect Doctor, and I love those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just one of those that I loved. Okay.
Here,
and
have
I know
this.
it's going to be
It's a snack. I take these. I don't need it anymore. Bye.
All right. What about scenes you don't like? Are there any? Tim.
The whole dinner interview scene felt like some missed opportunities for some wacky hijinks could have been taken, but with the Ghost having to respond to the baby monitor more often, I think.
It's possible, but it's possible that they just didn't want to use up all the time on that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there could have been a little more there. I mean, they were already cutting between the Doctor and the spaceship and the interview, so I don't know. They could figure out something. Aaron, how about you? Was there a scene you did not like?
I don't think there really was, really. I'm
Not
going
a
to take
one.
a pass, yeah.
Okay. Matt.
I'm trying to focus my thoughts on which one I disliked the most. Again, this is essentially pulling out nitpicks. But, I have to go with, like, the obvious sign, in particular, when the boss guy is led in by the scientist into the brain room, and he's seen the flickering eyes, he sees the weird scar across his face and everything else, and he doesn't logically think that there's something off about all of this. It gets easily led into an obvious trap.
Oh, I've thought of something.
That was my moment. Go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry. Back when it was actually a scene that I noticed, no one notices the ambulance being driven by a man in a suit or that a surgical team is jumping out of said ambulance.
Yeah, in surgical scrubs. Not a medic team, not an EMT team, but guys in full surgical scrubs like they're in a hospital are coming out of an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little off. And a little too weird. But then again, this is kind of being semi-comic booky, so.
Yeah. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but it does scream of, oh, wee, oh.
Okay, so I've got two. And they're not so much scenes that I absolutely hate, despise, or anything. It's just stuff that's a little off. One is the adolescent Grant with X-ray vision scene. Because it was a little Smallville, because they covered that one in Smallville. And then finally, it was the last scene we had with Capaldi throwing the TARDIS, and he just has this grin that suddenly made me realize, oh my God, Peter Capaldi would make like the world's most amazing Joker. I'm serious. He had a Joker grin. I'm like, oh my God. I'm seeing it now, and that's frightening me. Please, you've already turned Tennant into the Purple Man. Don't turn Capaldi into the Joker.
He'd be better than the current Joker.
Oh, well, yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But I mean, imagine pale-facing Capaldi, putting green hair on him and giving him the green lip look, or the red lip look. He would make a great older Joker for older Affleck. For Batfleck, he would be great at it. And of course, he's already in the suit, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's already in the semi-dandy suit, so yeah.
But that's going to be living in my nightmares for a while.
Oh, Photoshop could make it living larger in your nightmares.
No, thank you. Please don't. Actually, go ahead. Go ahead and do it.
I'll have to find a picture of it.
All right, so that's our best, that's our worst. Let's go ahead and go on to final thoughts. Tim.
Despite being very superficially Christmassy, this was still an excellent episode, I think, with great characters. The only other thing that really bugged me was that there wasn't really much of a presence for Nardole in this episode. Like, every now and then he would pop up and say, yes, I'm still here, but...
Well, his job is mostly to keep Capaldi grounded, and he knows it.
Mm-hmm. And for that, he does a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, there are only like nitpicks that are wrong with this episode. Everything else was spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my 2 cents.
Okay.
All right, Aaron.
All right. I really enjoyed this episode. Like I said, I think Tim is right in that there's just a little bit of nitpicks here. Another scene that I noticed was that Lucy stares down the doctor while the doctor's sitting on the fire escape after Grant is just taken off to become the ghost, and Grant leaves a pile of clothes next to the doctor. But Lucy doesn't ask where Grant is, and she doesn't seem to notice the clothes or anything like that. So there's little scenes like that. And I do agree that the enemies are a little bit dull. A little bit, they could have been a little bit better. All right, but that's it for me.
All right, Matt.
The main nitpick I have, and it's not a huge one, is that, yeah, the guys they picked for being the villains were a bit underwhelming. The idea for the villains, though, is actually an interesting one, and I would love to see them develop that a little bit better. Maybe put that somewhere else. Maybe have a throwback and have a guest appearance of the Ghost. Who knows?
Fucking love that. I mean, they've pretty much set up for it.
Yeah, they pretty much set up what could be a possible series of continuations with the Ghost. Other than that, fairly competent story. Thank God, Moffat. A loving throwback to comic book movies dating as far back as Christopher Reeves, which, thank God, they did Superman right in this movie.
They did it. They did Superman better than frickin' DC has been doing.
Better than DC's been doing for the last 5 years. And there are, again, little minor nitpicks, but they are by no means spoilers for this episode for me.
Yeah.
There's so much good stuff going on, I don't care.
All right. One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still getting over a flu, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep my throat moist. So yes. Overall, I love this episode. Moffat, when he has time to write it, and he's had an entire year to write this one, hits it out of the park. Most of my speculations coming into this, that Moffat basically sat down, watched the last couple of DC outings, and said, I could do better. I think that's what he was aiming for. And he was trying to pretty much parody, and I love parody, so I think he did a pretty good hit on that, or at least, pastiche it. Either way, I think this worked very well. There are a couple of small, little itty-bitty, minor, nitpicky things that could have been better, which will knock this from being a perfect episode, but it's pretty damn close. All right, so with Bill and Miles gone, we will get their opinions on this on our next episode.
They should have time to be able to do it by then.
Yep. So we will just get the rankings of those of us here tonight.
Okay.
So, starting with Tim, what do you rate this episode?
Very good episode. I'd give this a 4.5.
4.5. Aaron.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this about 4.5 as well.
Matt.
I'm at a 4.75 because of the nitpicks. So
Well,
does that mean I rounded up?
That means you rounded up.
So like I said, I'm giving it a 5.
Okay. 5.0 rounded up from 4.75.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to do that before too. But I'm going to give this one a 4.5 because I think it hits about a 4.7 on mine. So
not quite as high.
Yep. Not quite as high. It's darn close. I have this feeling that a couple of things could have done better.
Mm-hmm. Just
But
little
it's
touches.
Just little touches. So that'll give it a 4.6 average by those of us involved. 4.6 is, not a bad score by any means. Data, sort range, and let's see how we do. 4.6 is going to put The Return of Doctor Mysterio at number 13 on our list.
Whew.
It is just below The Day of the Doctor. And
Wow.
that's honest to God where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Work out.
It has above it Caves of Androzani, Remembrance of the Daleks, Pirate Planet, Unearthly Child minus Tribe of Gum, Dark Water, Death in Heaven, Armageddon Factor, Empty Child, Doctor Dances, Time Heist, Genesis of the Daleks, Stolen Earth, Journey's End, and Day of the Doctor. So it is right up there in our favorites episodes. It's right above the Bells of St. John. And yes, this is better than the Bells of St. John.
Yeah.
Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. Invasion of Time. This is right where it should be.
Mm-hmm. This is right in the midst of the Good Company where it should be.
Yep. 4.7. 4.6. Absolutely beautifully where it should be. I think that's all we have to say about The Return of Doctor Mysterio. It is definitely a positive. On a side note, we have heard from one of our friends, someone who hasn't been on the podcast, but a friend of Matt, Aaron, and myself, and she didn't like the episode. She felt it was way too derivative, and I think she's dead wrong. This was meant to be a parody. This was
meant to be a spin-off / parody of the basic ideas behind it, and it's obviously it wears those ideas off of its sleeve, and to nitpick it too hard is to just kind of make me go, so you prefer the current DC movies, do you?
Yeah.
She's not. She doesn't seem to be big into DC though. She seems to be more into the Marvel universe.
Even so.
Even so, she's nitpicking on Superman XB, and it's just like,
Yeah, it's just this was a message to DC saying even I can write movies better than you. And I'm not even in the I don't even write for the superhero genre.
Don't even write for the superhero genre, and I don't even have the budget you have. Bye.
It had a little touch of the Arrowverse feel to it, just kind of how the characters played into each other and everything.
That's also kind of a little bit of the Batman touch too. So it fits. It fits a lot of the things that Moffat was going for, and congrats for that.
Very good for someone who obviously watches comic book movies, because I'm going to call you out on that, Stephen. That you've obviously watched comic book movies before.
Who doesn't like watching Christopher Reeves, dang it?
Is not involved in an active production for a comic book show, unless you really consider the Doctor to be a comic book hero, and he kind of is.
Kind of, sort of.
He's
a mastermind hero, essentially.
He even references, his life being a comic book.
The opening frames of this episode are actually using a comic book wipe. You can see the little frame borders. Anywho. I believe it's time to say our goodbyes then.
Yep. So, if you like listening to us four idiots, tonight it is four idiots. Ramble on about Doctor Who and other things. Subscribe to our channels on YouTube and Twitch, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for news, updates, and, more other things. And next week's show, it's the holidays, so we are going to take next Wednesday off for rest, spend time with our families, enjoy our new toys, yada, yada, yada. However, we will be back on January 4th with our next review. We've been a bit nostalgic of late, so we're going back to where it all began, where the world ended. Join us as we start our series covering all the appearance of the face of Bo in The End of the World, written by Russell T. Davies, and starring Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor and Billie Piper as Rose Tyler. We are looking forward to trying to cover most, if not all, of Series 1 by the end of this current season. So
that would be nice.
Yeah.
We're kind of quarter of the way there, aren't we?
We are almost there. It's one of those things that Bill and I noticed, and it's like, hey, we could get this out of the park.
We should wrap it up, yeah.
Yeah. So, we're planning on doing that, but we originally had this planned where we're gonna bounce between this and the Series 2 and 3 for a little bit before going back to Series 1. And, of course, eventually we have to get over to when Who starts up again. Yay! But anyway, we'll see you on the 4th, or you'll see us, or at least hear our wonderful speaking voices.
Our dulcet tones.
Yes. So tune in on the 4th. Until then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and any other holidays that may be occurring at the end of the year. Happy Yuletide.
Gesundheit.
Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you in 2017.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.